Hey, hello everyone. This is the professor with Day Trading for Success. I just recorded this entire thing and my microphone was above my head, so I'm now re-recording. Frustrating. Anyway, today I'm going to be doing a video about the scanners and the different scanners for each of the strategies that we trade, as well as just basically how to use a Thinkorswim to set up scanners. So it should be pretty informative if you don't know that. So we've couple of tricks that we've learned over time on how to get them to for the different stocks that you're looking for. So I'll cover the basics, and I have a bunch preset up here that I can drag over to make this a little bit quicker for you. So the one scanners that I'm going to specifically show you how to set up is the open strategy scanner, which I know that the $1 Million Margin Club it's either going to be day trading volume 3 or 4. They're working on the open strategy book right now. I know they were asking me questions about it as well, and there's a lot of different ways to trade the open. Now, you've seen the way that I trade it. I wait for the pre-market high or low to be broken, and then I set up fibs a certain way and support and resistance lines a certain way, and that's the way that we trade it here on Day Trading for Success. But believe me, I've heard a lot. I already knew a lot, but I've heard from a lot of the viewers that there's different ways to trade it, and that they feel are a lot better. So basically what the $1 Million Margin Club is doing, like they always do, is massive research with all their huge club member traders, and they're going to try to bring to you a workbook with as many different strategies for the open as you can find, like, taking the break of the day before, even the week before, how far out do you do the fibs and all this. And then now there's a bunch of different ways to trade the open. So I'm not just going to show you scanners. I'm going to talk a little bit about trading. So you have to bear with that. But there's a lot of different ways to trade the open. There's the momentum scanners, and I'm going to show you a momentum scanner that should work for you, that is just looking to capture a big percentage gain or gapper that morning. And you see a bunch of the biggest YouTubers, that's all they do every morning. And you can subscribe to them and watch them and pay and watch them do that trading. We have that exact scanner set up. I mean, I'm sure they would argue, but it's pretty much puts up every single stock that they call out, because many of the $1 Million Margin Clubs are also trade over there in those different areas. So anyway, you can get that for free. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm not taking anything away from them. They deserve to make the money doing what they do, and I get it. But I just want to show you that you don't have to pay for that stuff. Thinkorswim is an amazing tool. So we'll be going over that. Now, while I'm on that in the $1 Million Margin Club, the way that all started was because nobody was logging, and I found that out, that not nobody, but I mean very few people were logging that were watching, and they thought that was just a weird concept to log, and I was freaked out by that. So I was pushing early on. Many of you have been with me since early last year, know that I pushed it, and then finally they created a publishing company, the $1 Million Margin Club, and they put out their very first little simple logbook that it ended up having the open strategy criterion in it. It's so open strategy can find gappers, yes, and percentage gainers and stuff like that. But there's also you also want to have a criterion like I said, there's different ways to trade the open. So when I bring it up, I'll put it there. But I wanted to tell you that they have their own channel, and you should go over there. It's $million-dollar-club margin club, $million-dollar-margin club. Now, I think they only have they very few followers because they don't have much content, but I know they're about to announce that you can become a member of the $1 Million Margin Club. So if you are interested in that and you're watching this video, you should probably go over there and subscribe, because those are going to be the people that hear about it first. I will be putting the videos over here, though, ones that are appropriate. They're going to be making videos about their books. And as you know, they have the Day Trading Volume 1 that has change trading we trade here all the time. So I have the scanner setting for that, for the RV strategy. I also will have a scanner setting for the new Midcap strategy, tweaked a little bit from my sort of debacles last week. Hey, I was still green last week in my defense, but yeah, it's not how I like to trade, struggling to make a couple $100, but you know, you learn as you go along. And I told you it was beta, but it got me kind of depressed. So I was happy to finish the week with more exciting videos, with bigger, you know, tens of thousands of dollars to show you guys that the RV strategy, which is so successful. So so anyway, I'll just get right into it now after that big long speech. Remember, if you like what you see here, to subscribe and to give us a thumbs up. So here is how your scanner is going to open. You can see under my picture, I just shrank it down. Just make sure you click on scan, and this is how it should open. If you ever want to reset your scanner, just push reset and it'll reset for you here. And this is how they open. Now I already have some preset ones here, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it over, some of these over here. Let's see, I have multiple screens here. So this way I can remember with my older brain to how to set this up. Now this is the RV strategy. And one of the things that's unique about this, if you're familiar with setting this up, is this little custom thing down here. So I'll show you how to do that. So we now have a way that's different than the book. If you have that book, you'd have that whole layout in there. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, it had a scanner set up in there, but it's changed because now we have it for 10 days instead of 14 days, but you can still keep it at 14 days. Wilder's 14-day average true range. If I'm losing you guys for scanners, I'm going to show you how to do any scanner, but I'm specifically focusing on the ones for the strategies that people keep asking and are so interested in. That's really why I'm making this video. So you're going to see this, and it's going to give you stocks, and you can add a filter, and you can do studies or a whole bunch of other things. So for the purposes of how we use the scanner, we're going to, on this one, we have 3 stock settings and 1 study setting. So the first one in here is going to be the market cap. So I go up to the market cap here, and then the next one we want is mark, so which is the price, right? And then the next one we're going to do shares, which is the float. Shares mean float. A lot of people they're not really clear about that. It's just clear. And then on the last one, we're going to do this, and I'll save this custom. So let's just get these. So the $1 Million Margin Club, the RV strategy is a 25 billion minimum float. So these are done in millions. So I need 25,000 millions, right? So that's that reading. And then we put the price at a minimum of $100. Okay, and then this is going to be 1 billion minimum float. 1 billion. So, and then I'll just scan right now for a second and make sure that, no, that did not do that right. Billion. I need one more. Do I need one more? I need one more zero. Hang on. Okay, so remember that's million. That's no, that's a billion. But these are 25,000 million, which equals 25 billion, and that's $100. Now I have no, as you can see from my pre-done one here, this is just detached. So I'm moving on. There's no maximums on any of those. Now we'll get into now let's set this for only 10. That's important on the scanner readings that you understand that. I have 6 screens. I, for a while, used to have 2 screens that were just full of scanners because it was just quicker. So I just click here, click there, change stocks, do all kinds of stuff that I don't do as much anymore. Before I got, pretty successful just trading 1 or 2 stocks, I jumped around like most of us do in the beginning, and I kept trying to, FOMO, trying to find a stock that was the best stock until I realized that once you get a good strategy going, all the trades are there every day. Every day you can get a trade, so you're not, if you feel like you're missing out, it's a bad state of mind, because there will always be trades. Now, in the momentum, Momo stocks, like on the other YouTubers that are doing the really, really fast ones, okay, yes, sometimes if that's all you do, you'll have bad days where you just shouldn't trade. But mid cap, large caps, and mostly small caps, develop at least a strategy for each of those, and there will always be 3 to 5 stocks to trade every day that fit within your strategy. Famous last words, right? But anyway, so you want that 10, just show 10 stocks so you don't, I was starting to say the reason why I was talking about how I used to have them all over the place, and they slow down your computer like terribly, and your computer, and when you shut it off, it's not reconciling. You put it back on, it's even slower the next day. So a couple tricks I found out, and I do have a video that shows how to speed up your platform, and it gives all my specifications for the equipment that I have. But basically, from spending a lot of time with Thinkorswim, trying to figure out what was going on, and having other experts come in, they basically explained to me that stuff is not reconciling. Stuff is floating around and taking up my memory all the time, and the speed of my computer. So how do you resolve that? Well, during the day that you're trading, don't have that much stuff open, for one thing. So there's no reason I need this at 50. I mean, you probably could get away with 5 here, but 10 doesn't seem to slow it down. And then the other trick that I talk about is every day when you start, open up your saved layout, your clean layout that you built before you took any trades. Save it, and then open that up every morning. It's got no bugs. It's got nothing that's trying to reconcile for many, many days and weeks and months if you've never done that. And suddenly it's like, wow, it's like you got twice the speed of everything. So that's the tricks about that. So here's one of the things, just less number of showing stocks, right? Now let's get into the crossover. You go down here to custom, right? And then you're going to go into edit. And then you're going to change it from your crossover to, you're going to make a study, and then you're going to make that into ATR. So that's going to be your study. You're going to make that 10 days. You're going to say is equal or greater than over here. You're going to select a condition. So study, and you want the ATR here. And then on that, we're going to make that 10 days again. Now remember, Wilder's is 14 days, but that's okay. We don't... let's just see, is that, it's not equal or greater than, yeah, okay, so this doesn't have everything I want here. This is supposed to say, supposed to be a number in there already. I don't understand why there's not a number here already, but, so I'm going to make that, oops, I'm sorry, I'm going to make that a 5, so the ATR of 5. This 10 is greater than equal to the ATR length of 10 from 5 bars ago. That's not right. All right, guys, I'm getting that wrong. Hang on a second here. I just made this video and got it right the last time. So what am I doing wrong this time? Is this not on ATR? 10 equal to greater. Offset's right. That's right. This should not say is equal or greater than. Okay. Well, I'm just going to cancel this. I'm going to actually just take this off and start from scratch to see where I went wrong here. So let me just add a study. We'll go down here to custom, and then we'll go to edit. Is greater than or equal to. I'll do that first this time. I'll go into the study and pick an ATR, and then do 10, and then select a condition. Maybe I'm supposed to push a value. Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do, right? That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. Bars are going to be days, and this should equal 5. is greater than or equal to 5 within 10 bars. 10 days, 5 within 10 bars. Okay, so I'm going to say okay. And does that say the same thing? Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is the setup one already down here. So yeah, I was picking study instead of value. So if you make that mistake, that's what happened. So anyway, now I scan, and these are, if you're used to watching the RV strategy, you can see. Now you want to make sure this is descending over here, and you can also just make sure that you do this by volume. And then scan again. It's going to change the order of everything. Well, Tesla's almost always going to be on top. Now, as people asked about why, when we trade the RV strategy at the $1 Million Margin Club, when they're here too, why don't we trade Tesla? Because Tesla doesn't move sideways in the range-bound strategy. RV strategy is based on a consolidating thing. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, you can make a very good point that we trade NVIDIA all the time, and NVIDIA is trading like Tesla. But you can see the difference in volume, that this is a lot more volatile. Tesla's always been that way. Well, for 3 years now, it's been crazy. So anyway, that's the reason for that. But now these are all RV stocks that you can choose from. And then when you go to the RV stock, obviously, you either in day trade in volume 1 or watch some of the videos, there's other criterion that you're looking for to make sure it rates like a 7, 8, or 9 in the criterion to pick the best possible stock to trade for range bound. So follow that criterion, and then you pick. I usually mess around with set up a couple of them. I'm lately ending up with either AMD or NVIDIA. I was trading Meta a lot. These don't move as much. I mean, Microsoft's up there this week, but I'm surprised it's even up here. I'm surprised its ATR is that high, actually. But anyway, these are some of the other ones to trade. Okay, so that's that scanner, guys. That is for large cap. That's how you would set up a scanner for large cap. Now let me move to another one. Let's go to Midcap. And those of you that are waiting for the exciting open one, it will be coming up. So we're going to reset. I'm just going to show you the other settings now. I'm not going to type them all in again. So now this one is set for Midcap. Now, if you've been watching me struggle with the new strategy for that we're in beta testing right now, this is only going to be a $2 ATR. The same way you set it up, and instead of pushing a 5, you push it's only got to move $2 within the last 10 bars. We have the price between 5 and 350. You could lower that to $50. You know, it depends on what your trading thing is. I wouldn't go less than 5, but you know, just because the way it moves. You saw how thickly traded it gets when the stock gets cheaper. One of the key things that we've noticed when beta testing it, if you get up past $25, $30, you don't have it quite. It moves a little quicker if you can get one that has any volume. But this, you know, you take the good with the bad, right? But anyway, so then you try to put a minimum volume of something, right? And then you have the minimum float of at least 35 million. So you've got a decent stock. And this is the market cap between 2 billion and 10 billion. So this is the only thing you might want to change. Unless you want to mess with the volume and stuff, is the price. And then when you scan, I've already scanned this one. So yeah, when you scan, this is on descending. This is set for volume. This is set for 10. Everything I just said before. And if you guys were watching with us, some of the problems with some of the mid caps that come up. Now remember, you can call Thinkorswim. There's 2 problems: not offering margin, and if you go on TD Ameritrade or Schwab on their actual website, not the trading platform, you can go in. There's a way to keep it up. And I've been lately, when I'm doing the mid-cap, just been keeping the screen open and up because I can just type in. You can check to see if it's marginable. Because if it isn't, you can still trade it and not realize it. And then suddenly, you know, you're waiting for stuff to settle, and everything, you know, it screws up your whole thing. It could screw up your whole thing for weeks. You could get a violation, you know. So you got to make sure it's marginable. And then the next thing is shortable. A lot of people think if it says hard to borrow, that doesn't mean you can't do it. you got to call up and say, what's the deal? And then they're going to charge you. Or sometimes they'll say no. And it might have a lot to do with how much is in your account. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I have not found a stock yet that I can't get to short if I really want to. The problem is that the cost just becomes too high to short it. It's just how much they want to short it. It's not worth it. And there's plenty of other stocks that you can find. But that's the situation with Mara. Either I can't remember if it wasn't marginable or you couldn't short it, because that was a great one. That was moving really good. And you can see, look at the volume of that. That would have been a great one to trade. I think I might have traded it once because I got away doing it because I made the deal. But I mean, I just have a pretty much standing deal that I'll pay this much percentage. I'd rather not. And I don't know, I haven't tried this one yet, Wolf. But some of these others, so if they're in here, you know that they've made it. You saw me trading, I forget what it was last week. It was terrible. It was an ATR of like, it was under $1. It's right around $1. So it was just horrendous. Or maybe it was 40. I don't know what it was. It was so low, and it was so stacked up because so many people could buy it. And then since I only trade on market, it would, and I had 3,000 shares if you were watching, and it was just like every time I pushed market, I lost a penny or two, which is $30 to $60. So you had to be like $100 ahead on the trade, and you'd end up being only 30 ahead. And if you weren't at least 100 ahead, you'd lose money. So if the stock's only moving, I remember that my entire chart that I had, opened up pretty, not that wide, was like 6 cents from top to bottom. It was terrible. So yeah, we're still working on that mid-cap. But anyway, this is what we believe is going to be the criterion right now for the mid-cap. So if you're trying to trade that type of a stock, this is a good one for that. And then now we'll go on to the piece de resistance, so to speak. So this is, and I'm going to show you how to save all this stuff in some of my other settings as well. So this is the one for the momentum ones that you people pay money from all those services that you actually can do this yourself. So the first settings are very easy, like we've just gone over. Your price, this is set for last. This is the same as Mark, right? The price. So you can set that for $1 to 75. I don't know how much you want to go. You really shouldn't. I mean, whatever. You trade how you want to trade. You get below $1, it gets to be so volatile and sketchy that you really, I like it to be $2. I set this. A lot of people have it at $1 and then 75 high, but you can make that 20 high. Maybe you don't want to go that high, and then you have the minimum volume of 100,000. But all of that doesn't really matter. This matters. You want a maximum float of 35 million. Almost every momentum trader has that setting on their scanners. It means it's only selling that many shares over and over and over again very, very quickly. The same ones are being bought and sold, 35 million. And that might seem like a lot to you, but when you have a volume that's like every minute candle is 100, 200, 300,000 and more, you sell all their shares 50 times over in a day of trading. They just keep rotating in a circle. So this means more volatile. If you get higher float than that, it slows it down. And then this is the unusual volume setting that you want. So basically, it's set for at least 50% from a typical average over 25 periods. The periods are 5 minutes. So over 5 minutes now, not days, it's saying it's gone up 50% in 25 5-minute increments. So that's a very hot moving stock at that moment of the day that you're trading it. And it could be, it's only been, 3 periods, 4 periods. It's just shot through the roof. So again, you want descending, and then you want to show just 10. And let me just show you about unusual volume. So unusual volume is right here. Where did it go? Right here, yeah. So unusual volume's right there. And it just came right back up there. But then you just then this bar will come up. That's under study. Now remember, you're adding maybe I didn't show you this, but I have the stock settings up there, and then I have the study. I think must have had to open a study in the first place to show you guys the first one. So yeah, you open up study, and that's a study, right? Now this is going to get you all the fastest moving stocks. So if you traded on Friday, I saw some of the people that trade on Friday, and I heard horror stories that lots of people were seriously red, 10 and 15 and 20,000, and other people were seriously green. So even though a stock has gone up, you can lose money, as you know. So it just depends on how fast you go in and get out. But this was the big one for the day, and I swear to you guys, and I'm not trying to take money away from the people that subscribe, that sell the service, but these are the same stocks that you're seeing when you buy that service. I mean, I would be amazed if there's one missing. Now you can set this up a certain way to exclude things, and they can say, I mean, I'm not going to imply anything, but everybody has a right to make a living, and if they make it easier for you to do this, then great. But if you've got Thinkorswim, you're going to find enough high momentum Momo stocks to trade, and you can speed all these things up and make it different. And this is the one that I've found that when I trade the open, if I'm doing this type of momentum trading, which I mostly do on light speed when I do this kind of trading, because Thinkorswim, it's difficult for Thinkorswim to do this kind of trading, but you can do it. You can definitely do it. And you'd probably want to do limit orders. You get partials. It's not really the way I'm showing to do the market, order strategy on the RV strategy, the escalator strategy, and the open strategy that you've seen on the channel. This would be a different type of trading where you're mostly trying to go in and out on the bid and the ask, as opposed to automatically getting filled. I have an offset setup that I use on pre-market that I still haven't shared with anybody yet. I'm a little afraid to take you guys down that road because you can lose so much money with this kind of trading. But anyway, this is the setup for the momentum traders. So if you momentum scanners. Now you can see over here, I have a bunch of different. So that's a scalping scanner that I just showed you. I'm just showing you right now at the open. I showed you this one. This is the large cap RV strategy one, and then the mid cap and beta testing's right here. And then I have a bunch of other ones that either were beta testing or ones I still use from time to time. I definitely have ones for earnings, for aftermarket, before market, when the announcements are. This is basically trading on news, and it's a whole different style of trading that I haven't covered yet. And this is some of the most successful multi-millionaires. This is all they do, is they trade on news and earnings. And it's a real strategy that at some point the $1 Million Margin Club will probably put out a book about it. I know that in their logbooks, because they have a bunch of logbooks if you go to their authors page on Amazon, and they have each one of the 6 logbooks has 4 different strategies from like the biggest traders in the world that were used in competition and stuff like that. So you might want to check out their authors page about those books. So, and they do cover some of the ones that make so much money on this stuff are in there, and then they detail the strategies that they use. So it's an interesting for a cheap little log book. It's all trying to get you to log because they're not making much money on a $12 book. But and then I have these here. They're just different ones that you do. Now you remember here, you've also got the ones that they make that are kind of cool. They have gaps up, gaps down, and you should definitely check those out. Some of these are very close to the momentum ones that you would make yourself. I think it's such a great thing that they allow you to do that. Of course, now, that they offer the service of these. So if you're saving, this is going to pop up, the one that I have open here. You just press save, you name it and just press save. And then it'll be back up here again to load. It'll be over here now under your personal. So that's pretty much the whole thing, guys. Those are the 3 setups I use. I think with that bit of information I've given you, you can mess around and make your own scanners, and then every day just push scan, or someday when you're checking them all out, just keep scanning and writing down notes. And that's what I did. Like, hey, what stocks did it drop by me changing these days or periods or percentages or gaps, or am I losing some that were just there 10 minutes ago on a different setting? You make notes, you trial and error. That's why I said I had 2 screens just set up with scanners to see, and I got so I tightened it, and then this is what I came up with that got most of all the momentum ones, because I could see what the other scanners were showing for the services that you pay, because I used to buy services as well, and I was comparing what was the best service, and then I realized when I came to Thinkorswim, which I originally wasn't, they had everything, and you just don't think that anybody does, but it's right here. And it's just like, it's so easy and it's free, you know, and I'm showing you how to do it for free. So you're all set now. You didn't have to spend a dime if you didn't already subscribe. So, but I would challenge them to show a scanner that you can't build here, because unfortunately for them, there's going to be more and more people that get the idea that this can be done. Okay, guys. So so next week I'll be showing you more. I mean, I have a bunch I haven't even released yet, so you'll see some of those. But I will be making one on that new scalpers indicator. I was a little surprised last week when I saw, which I'm sure you heard me, that the 51 back and the one candle back were merging together. And I was surprised that was happening. But the brand new one that you can set for any time increment, the new scalping indicator, is really, it's phenomenal that such a thing exists to help people that want to do, for instance, this kind of trading, Midcap, or the, I know this isn't that video, but I'll make that video. But this is what the scalping indicator would really help you with, is this momentum style trading. So I'll make a video about that too, but that's not this video. So that's just a teaser. So, all right, guys, stay green out there. Thanks for watching. Be careful. Trade in a sim first, whatever strategy you're trading, and make sure it's working. And then remember, psychologically, when you're in a sim, it's going to be a lot harder when you go live. So cut your share size down at that point, and then make sure it's working for 5 shares, 10 shares. Make a trading plan that max loss per trade, max loss per day. Stick with it. Stick with that. It is opportunities every day. If you're in a mode where I got to make this money and I got to make it now and I only have 10 days or 30 days or 1 year, it's too much. It's too much pressure. Yeah, too much pressure, because the trades won't be there that fast in the way that you want them. So it's sort of a slow, steady. Actually, day trading isn't that slow compared to like Warren Buffett buy Coca-Cola and wait 50 years, but it's exciting and fast, really. But if you're watching the videos we put out or the videos other people put out, you're thinking, oh, I can make $10,000 and every day, and it just doesn't work that way. It's a slow journey to get to where you can be profitable on a consistent basis. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Stay green.